Welcome to Farm Life, your regular family enrichment program meant to make us a better version of ourselves and to have thriving marriages and families. My name is Michael Mensah, and as always, we have another interesting or meaningful conversation this morning. The topic we are discussing is build and antibodies in relationships. Is that necessary? So there are euphemisms of, we're using these euphemisms of shock absorbers and antibodies. So we'll briefly look at that and then we'll delve deep. I'll begin the conversation first with a fair lady sitting almost opposite me, and I'll go on to the other in due course. Good morning, Lady Justina.
Good morning.
Okay, so the voice you are hearing is the voice of Lady Justina Owejiri, who is a counseling psychologist with the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission Hospital. And she's a regular these days here, and we are so grateful for her making time. It's not easy when you have to make Saturday mornings a regular. I can say that to you. But this is worth the time and the sacrifice because we are all supporting each other to be a better version of ourselves. As the South Africans will say, Ubuntu. We need each other to be better. We need each other to be strong. We need each other to be able to exhale and to work on being that unique and special person that we were made to be. My special friend and lady, good morning once again.
Good morning.
You know, this topic is like another sequel to resilience in another way.
Yeah.
So let me announce. You can keep your contributions, questions, queries coming via WhatsApp or Telegram on 0549 986 996. Again, 0549 986 996. And let's do it together. Questions, queries, contributions, and even disagreements. That's a new addition to the free, because we all need to get better. Yes, let me come to you. I hope you are good today.
By the grace of God.
All right.
Fine.
All right. So, shock absorbers are to cars what dampers are to human beings. Antibodies are to bodies in helping us physiologically deal with antigens or unhealthy bacteria, parasites, and viruses and the like that plague us as human beings. So these play a crucial role in the life of every person and play a crucial role in the life of every vehicle. So now we are picking from these two elements or symbols to see how we can relate it to our lives as human beings and how cultivating them, developing them, or having them in our being can help us to, as it were, thrive. So what will you say as your opening comment?
Yeah, just like you said, marriage and family are institutions. Just like the body can also be analogous to an institution. So if the body is made to have antibodies, then God knew that things that are not approved will attack the body. And so things that are not approved can attack marriages and can attack families. So then they need to develop antibodies and then mechanisms to go through such conditions or such situations, just because we are human beings in those institutions.
Awesome. So, like they say, life happens, and like they also say, the rubber meets the road. For a vehicle, the shock absorbers determines how smooth the ride can be, because we drive on different terrain. A friend of mine was telling me a story of somebody who came from one of the European countries or so not too long ago and was doing some rounds, and that was, I think, the person's first time coming to our beloved country. And when they got to some of the roads, he started having traumatic experiences because he could not deal with the potholes on a stretch. And as they went to the hinterlands, after driving on the comfortable, smooth asphalt, some of the jagged roads that he saw, he decided that some of the places he won't go anymore. You get me? So even the shock absorbers was not making it comfortable enough for him to do with the state of his travel.
Yes. So imagine
Yes.
without it.
So yeah, exactly. So if there are no shock absorbers on the vehicles, then that will be a terrible experience. So please tell me, how must one begin to develop these elements? How can you have a shock absorber in place so that you can deal with the nuances of life? You can deal with the nuances of your partner. You can deal with the nuances of a sibling. You can deal with the nuances of a parent or a child. What are some of the dynamics involved? Yes.
So basically, I've said it time and over here that it all starts with self-awareness. Self-awareness, being aware of yourself, being aware of your environment, being aware of what you are getting into. So like research says that marriage is the beginning of the new family.
Okay.
So if marriage is the beginning of the new family, then the marriage is the beginning of the new family.
Okay.
So I want to get married. What is it? So you're becoming aware of that institution you want to get into. Then once you are married, a family has begun. What is a family? What are the characteristics? What are my values? What are the values of the other person? But if you don't know your values, then it will be difficult for you to even identify that of the other significant person. This is why I will entreat everybody that in striving in marriage and family, we have to be deliberate and develop these antibodies we're coming to talk about. And I will start with an open communication. Open communication. Communication is very key in every human relation. So we have to engage.
Okay.
It's not just talking, but purposefully discussing issues. And when talking about communication, it's not just what we want. It starts from where are we?
Okay.
Where do we want to get to?
Where are we?
Yes.
Okay.
And where do we want to get to? Then which channel are we going to use? So just like the traveling, if you know where you are, then you have an idea where I want to go. Then you'll be able to decide whether you're going by air, by road, by sea, by foot, by Okada, whichever.
Okay.
So it's marriage. So where are we? Where am I? That I want to get into the institution of marriage. Where is the other significant person? Can we talk about it and find out where we both are? So when in marriage I think I'm in Accra and you think you are in Kumasi, it's in itself creates conflict or friction.
Okay.
So when we have open communication, that is where we can discuss that, okay, I'm in Kumasi, you are in Accra.
Yes.
But that we're going to do together so that we'll keep the bonding. That is the beginning. Then we have to be honest in this communication skill. So when we are sharing, it's not like the person is not here. So I'm telling the other person what I want him to hear and feel good, but not the reality.
Okay.
That is where when you're getting into the marriage and you are not working, let the person know. If the car you are driving is not yours, let the other significant person know. Even if you are married and you are still interested in another person, let the other person know that, yes, I'm married, but I'm still interested in you. Then the person will decide. This is an open communication. Then the communication at the same time should be done respectfully
Okay.
and in the perspective of both needs. So both of your needs, not the other person's need, and the others doesn't matter. And then in the communication, we must listen to each other from empathetic point of view,
Okay.
not from what we know, not from what we think it should be. So this is the first antibody you can develop if you want to thrive in marriage and family. Then the second one is trust and respect. Trust and respect. Learn to trust in people's truth, but not your truth. Empathy equally comes in here.
Okay.
So I am telling you that this is black, and you are seeing yellow. Okay, it's okay to see the difference, but if anything, find out why I am seeing it yellow. But you don't tell me no, because I'm seeing yellow, because the person might have a reason. And then when you are respecting people, we should know the boundaries, privacy. So people ask, is there privacy in marriage? Yes, there could be. There could be, and it should be openly discussed so that you know when to take the person's phone. Now, phone is becoming an issue.
Yes.
So if I come and see my phone in your hands, I will not suspect you are looking for trouble. If your phone cannot be used by your other significant person, then don't try using the other person's, because you have a reason why you don't want the other person to access. I'm talking about trust.
Yes.
The person tells you, I'm going to church, and you doubt. Have you communicated your reason for doubting? Because respect and trust move together.
Okay. Okay.
Then I can equally talk about values. Values. What do you cherish? You as a person. So in your values, you can even choose a life partner. So you come together and you are raising new people. You instill these values in them. But when you don't have values, the other person don't, or you don't, the other person have, it becomes difficult to live together. It becomes a toxic home, because it's your word against the other person.
Okay.
But when we all value respect, when we all value open relationship,
Yes.
open communication,
Yes.
then we know that we must sit and talk. So I know a couple who says that yes, we will fight, but we make sure we settle, just like the Bible says, do not let the sun go on your anger. So before we go to bed, we are sorted that everybody says what bothers him or her.
Okay.
Then we know that, okay, so this is the point we are now. This is what we are agreeing to do based on what has happened before they go to sleep.
Okay. So on this,
It's also a value.
Okay, it's also a
Then
value.
we can develop.
Okay. So on the, I want to take you back a bit, and then we can go for it. On the element of open communication.
Yeah.
What if you made the 3 pointers, where we are now, where we want to get to,
Yeah.
and how we are getting there?
Okay.
What if the other significant other is not open for such a conversation? How can you manage it?
I believe everybody is open at a point.
Okay.
The issue is sometimes the approach. So let's take an introvert, extreme introvert.
Yes.
They have things that get them talk.
Okay.
They have things that get them laugh.
Okay.
That is what you have to identify. So go into a relationship with an open mindset. Like I said earlier, not what you think, not what you have known, but what you are creating. So I like to talk about issues. The other person doesn't. For all you know, the person will be comfortable writing it down.
Okay.
The person will be comfortable pondering over it and making decisions before coming up.
Okay.
So we must develop that skill That is why you have to listen to the person. And you, the one who also you are not open, know that you cannot be fully yourself in marriage relationship. That is where the compromises come in.
Okay.
Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't talk about this. But because there's another significant person who want to hear me out, I should be able to compromise. It might not be the way the other person would do it. That is why I talk about open communication. So be as open as possible
Okay.
in whichever way.
Okay.
It might not be lengthy, but just let the person know that this is how I want it.
Okay. Okay.
Else,
Yes.
you make other significant people struggle in the relationship and
Okay.
in the family.
Okay.
So, assuming the father is an introvert,
Yes.
extreme type,
Yes.
then you have a toddler. Daddy this, mommy this,
Yes, yes.
daddy this, and you think the child is a border. It means you didn't plan.
Okay. Why so?
You didn't plan because you should expect children developmental stages, each stage and the behavior.
So what if, like you said, rightly said, I am an introvert, and so I keep to myself, and so generally I want the child, young as that toddler is 2-3 years, to understand 1 to 2, sometimes 2.5, to understand how I am leading him or her. Is that lack of preparation? Isn't it more of my person type, how I am wired, and I'm implementing same? Why must I kowtow to that child to toe its line? Then I'll come to the other
It
person
is
here.
not about kowtowing.
Okay.
It's about the developmental stage.
Okay.
And personality and temperament evolve. They are not static.
Okay.
So having a learning and teachable posture helps. So this child will not be able to understand you, the father, to that point. So sometimes you tell them I want to rest, and they want to talk to you, and they are talking. So we have children who are opening their daddies, daddy watch, daddy see. A time will come in the child's life. The child will not come back to you to see something,
Okay.
because now they understand stop. They understand I want to rest. But until then, you have to adjust and compromise. It's the same with your significant person. So don't assume the person is an adult and should know. So you are a man, you are my husband, you should know. No. Even God who created us, even though he said before we were formed, he knew us. He said we should ask. So go into marriage and live a family life with communication, where you are everybody's point of view. It doesn't take a day. It takes being intentional and deliberate to develop and build this over time.
Okay.
So regardless of the age and the parties, if we want to live in peace, we can create it. That is why I said earlier that getting into marriage is not about what you do. It's not about what it should be, but how you want it. So the two individuals coming together, how do we want our marriage? That is where you have to know, where are we? Where do we want to get to? Then you choose a channel you're going to use. So it's not your mother's marriage. It is not your father's marriage. But what will help you and your spouse.
Okay.
That is why basically self-disclosure in counseling or in therapy is not the ultimate, because my situation might not necessarily solve the other person, because they are two different individuals. Just that it encouraged the other person to know that I'm not the only person
Yes,
going
correct.
through this challenge.
Okay. All right. Awesome. And I come to the gentleman in the house. Good morning, Papa Sil.
Yeah, good morning, Mickey.
All right. So the voice you're about to hear is the voice of Mr. Sylvester Sabaya, who is a pharmacist, public health expert, and also a counselor, and wears many other wonderful hats. Lady Justina started off on many wonderful things. What comes to your mind to when you hear this whole issue of these two euphemisms, shock absorbers, which are for vehicles, to cushion it, to dampen any untowardness on the road, and then antibodies. When you hear antibodies, they are meant to be, they sound like they are negative, yet they play a positive role by attacking the negative things that attack our body. How do you see this whole dynamic as well?
All right, Mickey, thank you, and good morning once again.
Yeah.
So, the one who realized that the road on which the car would drive
Yes.
could potentially be rough
Mm.
and not always be smooth. And Ghana gives us a practical example of what rough roads are. And you started by giving that example of the guy coming from another country who had a bad experience. So, with that hindsight, they actually put in shock absorbers to deal with rough roads, potholes, terrain that are not favorable. Because sometimes you actually would on roads, you drive off road, you need shock absorbers to keep the vehicle in one piece or maintain it in one piece.
Okay.
And same for the antibodies. I actually just took time to pull up the definition, and it says that antibodies are protective protein produced by your immune system.
Okay.
They are attached to antigens, which are foreign substances such as bacteria, fungi, remove them from your body.
Okay.
So again, this is something that God in his wisdom put in the human body
Okay.
to prepare for attacks, external attacks from unwanted substances,
Okay.
what we call pathogens, or things that cause us diseases, germs, bugs, as we call them. Now, so that means that when we translate or when we relate it to our relationships, you must come into a relationship with your package of I wouldn't call them coping mechanisms, but actually conquering systems that deal with external factors that potentially may ruin your relationship. And here, you're not just talking about marital relationships, you're talking about platonic relationships, friendships, relating with relatives, siblings, etc. You must have an inbuilt system to deal with things that will ruin the relationship. First of all, you must be conscious of the fact that they exist, because people may expect that their friendship will be beautiful all the way to the end, but that's not real life. Real life comes with all its nuances, and people change over time. They either change as they develop, or they are changed by the environment in which they are, or the circumstances they find themselves in. There are many things that change us, and as you change, the way you relate to others also changes.
Okay.
So you must have those mechanisms to deal with the changes that will occur in the relationship, so that it doesn't destroy, or they don't destroy the relationship.
Okay.
So you're my friend, but I would not necessarily like everything you do. That should not destroy our friendship.
Okay.
I must be ready to accommodate what I consider shortfalls that I see in you, the same way you would accommodate my weaknesses and my shortfalls, because there's no perfect human being, and usually we connect very strongly with people that share a lot of things in common with us. They share our views, our outlook to life, our political inclinations and interests, social interests, educational aspirations, etc. And so we kind of roll with them very easily. But sometimes you have to live and work with people that think totally differently and behave very differently from you.
Okay.
But then, hey, you're in the same workplace, and you must put this peacefully and get the job done. Those internal mechanisms to not just to cope, but to accommodate and to facilitate some level of harmony, so that you can work effectively, become extremely necessary, you know. And one, know that you have it inbuilt as the first point.
Okay.
And two, you must also develop it. And I'll give the example of the antibodies. So your body has some amount of antibodies ready to fight germs which may attack you.
Yes.
But after you have gotten a typical infection, I mean, when you get an infection, means that the external factors that attacked you literally overwhelmed your antibodies. So even though your body soldiers are there,
Yes.
they lost the battle. So you went down with sickness.
Okay.
Now, once you recover, after you've been treated, or sometimes after you recover naturally, if you get a viral infection, most of them are self-limiting, so they'll go away after some time, even though
Okay.
most of the time we try to take medicine, you know. Once you recover from that infection,
Yeah.
your body's immune system is actually boosted.
Okay.
So let's take it that you had 100 soldiers before you got the infection.
Yes.
By the time you are fully recovered, they will probably have multiplied to 500 or 1,000.
Okay.
That means that now you have a bigger coping mechanism, or
Okay.
a bigger army to fight the next attacker. And that is how life also is. They say that it's only a fool that will do what? Will do the same thing
And expect different results.
expect different results.
Yes.
You know. So when you get some unpleasant experience in a relationship, now you learn your lessons. Some people's easy option is to walk away and never connect with that person again. But they say he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day,
Yes,
isn't it? That's not the only human being in the world. You're going to meet many people who will treat you badly.
Okay.
So you shouldn't just assume that everybody should treat me well.
Okay.
You know. So this time I'm actually keeping the conversation broad,
Yes,
because
yes.
not just your partner.
Yes.
Most people take most of the fights onto their partners because they are living with them. They see their faces every day.
Yes, but
you
it's
know.
generally.
It's
So let me
generally so.
ask, as you go on,
Yes.
is it the case then that in trying to develop or boost one's immunity, as the case may be, one needs to accept the fact that sometimes, maybe for us of faith, we say sin is a no-no. But can we say that generally, besides sin and evil, which is also a no-no, a lot of things are not all or none? So what I'm trying to say that you must not have the posture of it must all be A or all be B, so that if you are dealing with somebody who, like you mentioned earlier, does not show up or has all the attributes or the behavior patterns that you want, then you cannot interact with them, you cannot engage them, and so that also saves him from the friendship, from the workplace dynamics, and also into the home.
Yeah.
So even some parents struggle. You hear of parents disowning their own children because the children's values misaligned
to-
with theirs.
Yeah.
What in all this scheme of things must a person have in terms of posture to be able to deal with these nuances?
So one, the preparedness or the willingness to accommodate. Two, to also be tolerant. And three, to learn from the person, because you may be assuming that you are the right, but you are in the right, you're doing the right thing. This is my way of thinking, and the things I embrace in life, my values, are all the perfect ones. But you get to realize that yes, even though the other person you are relating to may have things that brush you off on the wrong side, there are some positives within that. You gave the example of evil or wrong. I mean, whether it's religion or law, both of them frown on evil. So if you break the law, if you do anything evil that contradicts the law, you get punished for it. You suffer the consequences. So in the same way, someone that does something that is evil,
Yes.
you have a natural adverse reaction to it. You wouldn't like it because the person did something evil to you, hurts you, said something nasty or unpleasant to you, or actually caused you some physical harm or emotional harm or stress,
Yeah.
you know. But once you get that experience, it should also prepare you mentally, psychologically, and emotionally to deal with the next one, because that will not be the only experience you have.
Okay.
So first thing you must prime yourself
Yes.
to is to accept the fact that everybody is not like me,
Okay.
and there are no two people that are the same anyway, and not everybody has the same values I have. So where there are negative values, I must find a very nice way of influencing. So first I talked about accommodating. Then you must also recognize the fact that we influence each other in a certain way. I'll give a very interesting example. So this week, I was somewhere in the Upper West region with my colleagues for work, and we're in a place where, I mean, food options were limited.
Okay.
So we found a place to eat, and then when food options are limited, I'm not too sure of what is being cooked. My natural default is
Yes.
to go for a simple rice dish.
Okay.
You know, where you are
Yes.
sure to a large extent you
Yes,
won't go
yeah,
wrong
yeah,
with
super.
it. You know. Then the next day they came back and said, "Oh, we found a place where there's kenke. Do you want to
Okay.
try it?" That was subtle influence. You know, like, yeah, I've been doing rice for some time. Do I want to do kenke? Then when I eventually got to the place where they were seated and eating, I saw their kenke looked very nice and everything. But I was like, no, I've still seen rice, and there was wache, and I think
Okay.
I'll gravitate a lot more towards that than.
Okay,
So
okay.
I made a different choice. I would have gone for their option which they recommended because
Okay.
it brought in some variety,
Right, yes.
you know. But then I still went and took something different. Now, I'm sure if I'd hung around them for 3-4 days, by the fourth day, it's very likely that I'll take the same thing that they recommend.
Okay.
And that's how we influence or we get influenced. The people you hang around with will normally or naturally influence you overtly or subtly. So sometimes we don't even realize that we are changing, but the environment you find yourself in gradually changes you. We often say that the same Ghanaians who jump the red light and throw rubbish all over the place go to countries where laws are strictly enforced against them, and everybody complies.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so the environment plays a very important factor in influencing how you respond to things. So have that at the back of your mind, and that environment also has a way of building you or helping you build resilience and also learn to accommodate people. So I found myself in a place where everybody spoke very softly.
Okay.
You know, in our Ghanaian environment, we shout a lot,
Yeah.
and we talking. Someone's on the phone and he's screaming at the top of his voice, and you're like, "Why are you screaming? Nobody wants to be part of your conversation." But in this place, everybody is speaking so gently and so calmly. If you stay in that environment for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, even sometimes just for 3 days, if you're a very loud talker, you get influenced by the calmness in the manner or the way that people speak.
Okay.
So gradually your way of communicating changes.
Okay.
Even your choice of words
Okay.
will change based on the place you are. So that's why in relationships where there's a lot of conflict and antagonism and rancor, exchange of nasty words and all of that, it just gets worse.
Yes. Okay.
If one person does not pull the brakes
Okay.
and one person does not say, look, this must end, going forward nobody is using unpleasant words on each other. So you've got to
Okay.
come to that point where you say, look, this is not right, we must correct it. First you start with yourself, because most of the time what we try to do is to try changing the other person before we work on ourselves, but it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
You come to realize that if you do a proper introspection, you have similar faults as the person you're trying to correct. So stop, reflect. What is making me do what I'm doing which I don't like, or which is negatively impacting our relationship? Is there a way I can work on myself first? So start with yourself, address the weaknesses in yourself, and begin to share the ideas in a very pleasant, engaging way, rather than in a militant instructive using a militant instructive approach, because people go like, look, you must change, your way of doing things is just horrible. If you use that approach, it's not going to work, because you are starting off a new fight. But if you engage the person, sometimes even when you begin to change and the person notices, I think Michael has changed. The way he used to talk to me very harshly and scream at me and point out all my faults, he stopped doing it. Now he rather commends me, he gives me a pat on the back, he gives me a hug even when I think I've done the wrong thing. Probably that's something I should be learning. And gradually, that begins to influence the way I also respond. So that's environment
Yes.
usually changes things. So sometimes I tell people that it's not always that you must meet fire for fire. We like fire for fire. Someone throws a stone at you, you also throw one back at them. No, it usually doesn't solve problems. Most conflicts that are raging on are because everybody wants to prove that I'm the person in the right, and I also won't give up. I shouldn't lose out. If he slapped me 3 times, I must beat him to it. I must give it to him 5 or 6 times. If you maintain that posture, you will never come to the middle ground. You must recognize that there are middle grounds. You must trade off something. You must let go of something. You must lose something so that peace will prevail. And that always helps. And it's very important for maintaining healthy relationships. So we shouldn't lose sight of it. And those are part of the shock absorbers you build into your system, accommodating the roughness of the terrain. That's what shock absorbers do for the car. The terrain is rough, but it helps the body of the car soak it in without breaking down, and helps the people having that ride enjoy a more pleasant ride than if the shock absorbers were completely gone.
Awesome.
So, what I would like
One second, please. If you are just joining us, this is Farm Life, your regular family enrichment program, live here on City 97.3 FM on our affiliate stations and along and across the globe. We are discussing developing shock absorbers and antibodies, and so far we've discussed a lot of stuff, which I tried and I attempt to mention a few. I'm in the studio with Mr. Sylvester Segbaya and Lady Justina Owu-Ejiri, and my name is Mike Mensa. Yes, Justina, you are going to be on the floor. Carry
Yeah,
please.
so adding up to what Papa Sly is saying, always look for solutions.
One second, please. Please can join us via WhatsApp or Telegram on 0549 986 996. Do you have enough shock absorbers? Do you need a lot of antibodies to be developed? And how do you view the things that happen to you? Do they become learning points and moments for you, or do they become antagonistic engagements so that you don't pick the lessons, so that you don't realize that, it's meant to extend your threshold, and that you are developing more antibodies that will fight the next invader better, and not that you form a warped defense wall and a warped mentality, so that the next person that comes faces a fire they didn't start. Lady Justina, please carry on.
Yeah, so what I was trying to add was always look for solutions that work for you.
Okay.
Not life is not a one-side fit.
It's all,
Yes, it is not. Neither is it a straight journey. Like using the car with the shock absorbers. We have curves. We have hilly mountains and all those things, such as life. So just as when you stand in Accra, you can't see up to Cape Coast. I'm just using the highway as an example. That is life. So develop a flexible attitude to life as an individual, and allow others to. That is where the compromises comes in.
Okay.
So always there's a challenge. How do we handle it? Not what exists. Sometimes you can pull the existing stuff and add up to solve your problem, but not going strictly to what exists. That might not work for you.
Okay.
And then again, connect. So if you want to have a good relationship, quality time and connection matters. The more you spend time together, the more you communicate. The more you communicate, the more you connect.
Okay.
Then it helps you to know who you are dealing with, the likes, the dislikes, the strength, the weakness.
Okay.
Then you commit
Okay.
and learn to forgive.
Okay.
So, in as much as you are not perfect, so every human being is not. And again, one thing that makes me like Mr. A is that same thing that makes Mr. B dislike the same person. It doesn't make the person a bad person.
Yeah.
So know what you can deal with, what you cannot deal with, right from the word go, and communicate it. If the other person listens and can do something about it, you are good to go.
Okay.
Because sometimes we see things happening, especially when it comes to emotional distress.
Yes.
We think, oh, it will be well, oh, they will change, oh, they, and it keeps, and for all you know, you are not even communicating it.
Okay.
So I always use this example. Most women will say, my husband doesn't help me, and that is the song. Meanwhile, they've not sat the man down. I want you to do A, B, C, D for me on Saturday mornings. This is not communicated.
Okay.
But the woman or the man is assuming, once you are my spouse, you should know I
should
want
know
this.
that,
You should know Christmas is coming and I want A. Meanwhile, you haven't mentioned, oh, this Christmas I want green shoe. This Christmas I want red shoe. You haven't.
Yeah.
You see? And then learn to forgive,
Okay.
starting with yourself.
Okay.
So my spouse is doing something that I'm not comfortable. I've said that character and behavior, personality, temperament evolve. Circumstance work on them. So we are not who our parents think we are.
Okay.
Because we have been exposed to things. We have experienced things that have changed our perception and our outlook of the world. So you should give to everybody to go through this process. The fact that it took you 5 minutes for you to get over and move on, our resilience levels are not the same. That you have built over years, don't expect another person to do it within a minute or two.
Okay.
Even some people, the way they articulate and process information in itself can change the way they solve problems. So people get so shocked and they freeze.
Okay.
So once they freeze, you have to give them time to cool down.
Okay.
Some also heat up and then fly. Nobody is wrong.
Okay.
We only, like Papa Slice, we only have to come to a level ground
Okay.
and then say, what do we want? How are we going to do it? And I have a friend who said, I have forgiven my wife in advance.
Okay. So so prepaid advance forgiveness.
That is it.
Or prepaid forgiveness.
The reason being that come what may.
Yes.
In account they say that a dear ben nature.
Okay.
But not for the fact that you are in that close relationship. There are things you wouldn't even see or you wouldn't even know about the person.
I'm interested in a prepaid forgiveness. So that means then that that's an antibody in effect.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So it's like you are not that you expect him or her to do something against you, but you have
You've
come
psyched
to
yourself
you side
up.
yourself up that I must forgive,
Yeah.
and so I have forgiven even before a thing happens.
Yeah.
Is that easy, or is something that one has to practice or work on to develop? What
So
did you say?
all that we are saying, we have to work on them. Like Papa Slice said, when you are attacked by malaria and you go through treatment, your immunity level is improved. So the next time malaria will catch up with you, you see that what took you to hospital admission, now you go extra days
Okay.
without even feeling,
Okay.
because now your body is getting used to those virus or bacteria.
Okay.
You see,
Okay.
so over time, which means you have to develop and make intentional that I am building it this way.
Okay.
So remember at the beginning I said that self-awareness.
Yes.
So I know I can handle this situation. It doesn't mean I cannot.
Okay.
I have noticed that I easily get irritated at this circumstance.
Okay.
Who can help me? So you are helping yourself, so
Yes.
that when you come across with it,
Yes.
you mustn't always flare up.
Okay.
Then you are not maturing.
Okay.
Because yesterday this happened,
Yes.
I behaved this way, it didn't give me the solution. Why do I keep doing? Because that is how I am. Then you are not getting to understand life.
So if
Because in the end, you
Yes.
get hurt,
yes.
whilst another person gets hurt.
So if I'm hurting, if I'm as a head, if I'm getting you to be able to develop the antibodies, you need to pick the lessons and the triggers of the occurrence,
Exactly.
so that you can develop the appropriate mechanisms to cope with
Deal
it.
with them. Yeah.
Are we on the same
You
page?
shouldn't be blind to the issues.
Okay.
And you shouldn't wish them away or pretend they don't
Don't
exist.
okay.
You know, it's important to recognize them and face them head on, and then make a deliberate effort or take a deliberate action to say, this is how I'll respond to this at any time it comes up.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
So I was just going to reiterate the point on forgiveness. They say that beautiful marriages are made up of two repeatedly or repetitively forgiving people. You know, I don't know whether I've used the right English,
Yes.
but you know, you must consistently forgive, because you are two people who have faults on you. I mean, and sometimes
What if
yes,
I
go-
think that I don't have fault?
yeah,
on
so
you,
that
and
that in
it's-
itself
it's-
is a
it's-
fault.
and it's the other who has the fault.
Yeah, you know, and that is where most of the conflicts in marriage come up. There is one person who has this posture that it is you who is always wrong.
Okay.
That is a big fault,
Why so?
because
Break it down.
you fail to recognize that you are equally human. The mere fact that your partner is not pointing out your faults to you does not mean you don't have faults. Even your
Okay.
inability to tolerate
Yes.
other people's
Yes.
shortcomings,
Yes.
it's a fault,
Okay.
because others are tolerating you. Why should you assume that everything about you is perfect and everything you do the whole world applauds you?
Okay.
No, it's not the reality.
Okay.
The world tolerates you in many ways,
Okay.
and you are there nodding your head and
Okay.
patting yourself on the shoulder, assuming that you are the perfect man in the world. That's
Okay.
not real, and that's not true.
Okay.
You know, we all have faults, and we must admit that we have faults. So if I need people to forgive me when I
Yeah.
do them wrong,
Yes.
I must equally be willing to forgive when others wrong me,
Yes.
knowingly or unknowingly.
Okay.
Because sometimes we bear grudges even against people who don't know they have offended us.
Yes,
And you
okay.
stop talking to the person because last time we share on when to it he met you and didn't greet you. Meanwhile, he was burdened with
So
some
many things.
tragedy
Didn't
that
even-
had
didn't
just
even
hit
see
him.
you.
Precisely.
But you
So
thought they did.
we suddenly take offense at things that people have not even done to us, or people may have done but do not know that they have done them
Okay.
against us. So we've got to develop a very strong attitude of accommodating people and forgiving. You
So
know,
is
we
it-
can't overemphasize that
Okay.
in this
So
discussion.
is it necessary for us, as part of the process, to validate our assumptions? Because in this case, you are assuming that he or she did not greet you because they hold this grudge against you, or because they are looking down on you.
Yeah.
Is it helpful and necessary when you have the opportunity to validate the assumption? If the thing is eating you up so much that
it
you
is.
can't let it go,
Yes.
will that be helpful?
It's absolutely necessary.
Okay, awesome.
You know, where you don't have the opportunity
Yes.
to validate it, let it go.
Let it go. Okay,
because it will
awesome.
kill you. I mean,
Okay.
that's little poison you are drinking that's killing you, but you
Yeah.
don't realize it. Most people develop hypertension because they
Yeah.
are bearing grudges, they are holding things up in their hearts, they are pained by so many things. They have an issue with Kojo, they have an issue with Abna, they have an issue with Kweku. Everybody they meet, they have an issue with them, and they have something negative to say about everybody. Those are little toxins that you are building in your
Together.
system. Flush them out, let them go.
Flash them out, let them go. That's the voice of Mr. Sylvester Seguaya. If you are just joining us, we are discussing developing shock absorbers, and antibodies for healthy relationships. And we are looking at we've looked at the broad spectrum, and we have made it also in families and marriages. A lot has been said, and we'll be going for the break shortly. Please keep your comments, queries, excuse me, suggestions, disagreements, and questions coming via 549 986 996. I go in 0549 986 996, and we'll give it attention. Before we go on the break, I want to try and do a brief recap. I can't summarize all that has been said already, but let me try to. So the first one is that we need self-awareness, deep self-awareness. And like we've been saying here, self-awareness is far more deeper than we think. Sometimes you only know about the pleasant aspects of you, and that's where you stayed in your awareness. But there's the unpleasant side of you, the growth areas, and you need to know that also. There are the triggers as well, and it may interest you to know that all of us, I think the senior said last week, are made up of the conscious, the subconscious, and the unconscious. There's something called automatic responses or reactions. Those ones, they emanate from the unconscious. So when there's a trigger or somebody says or does something, you respond not intentionally but automatically. That means that it's not from your conscious part of you, it's from the unconscious part of you. So like has been said, knowing ourselves well and better is a process, it's a continuum. So self-awareness, before you come to the courtship or relationship or marriage, you need that. Whilst you are in it, you need to keep developing that. And then if it's family, your children, you need to know each one of them, and you need to also let them know themselves as they are growing up. So personal or self-awareness, and then there's also spousal awareness. And the second one is open communication. And then amongst that, if you are building life together, you ask questions like, where are we now? Where do we want to get to? And how are we getting there? By Trotsky, or by plane, by train, or bicycle, by motorbike. You might have a bike called Moblet, or by a jet or scooter or whatever. And then it's also been said that let it be done respectfully. In your communication, always show respect, and let them respect be mutual. And the third one is let trust and respect be key as well. And empathize. Empathy is not sympathy. Empathy is seeing things from the other person's perspective, and that is more difficult to achieve because you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. They say walk a mile in somebody's shoes before you start criticizing. You think it's so easy. And I was telling somebody, I've heard people who will say some things when they are not
the other side.
At that side. Now when they get there, they say then you start wondering, are you not the one who said A, B, C? How come you're not doing half of what you said could be done with ease?
You know, the last time someone said to me that you guys make it sound like the marriage so easy, and I'm like, no. If that's what we are sounding like, please forgive us.
I tell you,
we are all working very hard at it in our little corners.
I tell you, that's why we always say that we are all WIPs, work in progress, because that's actually what we are. Then there's the element of values. What your value system is. Values are so critical these days. Sadly, we are letting that go, and so you engage people and see that they have everything else, but they don't have the values, and the values are like anchors. The moment you let them go, you are in for a big ride of trouble. And we also look at open mindset. What you are creating as a couple or as a family. What are the things that you want to do? How do you want to be known for or identified with? And then the fifth is package how you deal with the nuances of life with others. So thriving modes, have the internal mechanisms that will help you to deal with issues better. Be conscious of the fact that those things exist or may come up. So don't live in an ideal world where you think that some things cannot happen to you or the other person also is ideal or perfect and may not sometimes have some shortcomings. Number 6, accommodation of shortfalls, growth areas, and weaknesses. Acknowledge that you yourself, you are work in progress, and so is your partner, your colleagues at work, your children, or your spouse, so that can help you to develop a shock absorber. Because if you think it's not possible, then when it happens, it appears that you are expecting something else. Then number 7, know what you have in you That's a built-in natural mechanisms. And then also realize that you have to develop it some more. And Papa still brought out the element that if even the thing hits you hard, the infection hits you hard, after that one, the antibody proportion in your body grows. So the same way, see that difficulty, see that circumstance, see that challenge as a melting point for you to get better and to feel strengthened and to expand your threshold. I often ask people that, how do you build muscles? You exercise them, and you exercise them, you have pain, you have ache. Yeah. So it's the same thing. That real thing that hit you, that got you angry, is supposed to help you develop a threshold. But if you don't, then you always keep getting angry. And then rather than being better at managing anger, you rather get worse. Because it means that then you are not letting antibodies work as they ought to. Then adaptability. Then learn from the other person, especially the positive aspects. Now, because you may not always be right, and you know there's this W and M an analogy where if I'm standing at the other side, I see it as W, and if you are standing on the other side, you see it as M. Yeah. So everybody is right, but it depends on the perspective. So learn exactly. So learn from others as well. Number 11, accept learnings and experience that the and experience from the unpleasant and learn from the unpleasant occurrences or happenings that as they offer you an opportunity. So when you begin to see that, oh, even that unpleasant, you know, it's a mindset change. When you embrace the thing as a learning moment or a learning time rather than seeing it as something that is an invitation only, then how you see it will matter, and you may end up just being angry and not picking a lesson. Number 12, manage influences from others well and carefully. And then the element of environmental factors. That once you're in an environment, it can rub on you positively or negatively. So if you're in a very good environment, let the positive effects of our environment rub on you so that you can be a better person. Number 13, learn to trade off in maintaining a positive relationship. So there must be trade-offs. It must not only be their way or your way all the time. There must be what I call the convergence point. Number 14, often look for solutions that work for you and be flexible. Flexibility is key. Number 15, there's a need for appropriate compromises. You cannot have a meaningful relationship or connection with others if you're not willing to compromise. It cannot be only your way or the highway. Number 16, make room for quality time and connection with others, because it matters in getting to know each other better, whether it's your children, whether it's your spouse, whether it's even your colleague. If you're not getting deep in some information which is personal, you can still get to know them platonically well, which will inure to the benefit of the teamwork or the environment. And number 17, commit and learn to forgive. If you say that, learn even how to and get to the point. That's a high one, though, of offering prepaid forgiveness. And acknowledge that just as you are not perfect, so is the other person. Yes, we all have something within us that can make us better, but it requires that we unearth it and we put it into action. Let's take a few of the messages that have come. Good morning, Farm Life. Please, I need help. Myself and my beloved have been emotionally withdrawn from each other due to one unfortunate incident. Please help us to get back to each other. This is Lawe from Dakuman. Okay, Lawe, we'll give you somebody's number. Then, good morning, Michael. What about if you always agree because you don't want to hurt your partner? What's the consequences too? Even naming, the man agrees to every name the woman proposes because he doesn't want to hurt the woman. This is a fear from Sakumono. Please, let's take note and I will address that. Then it says, "What? Good morning, Farm Life. Thank you for tackling our issues every Saturday. This is Daniel Ni Odate Brightman from Gumwa Budumburam. This week I have to go on a hunger strike to prove a point of starvation, and it's solved a bit. I am looking forward to understanding. This has gone on for a long time. I've to go this way to approach the issues." Does anybody understand, friend?
So I'm tempted to think his hunger strike means they put food down for him and he did not eat it.
Okay, to illustrate the point.
To make a statement about something.
Okay. And good morning, Farm Life. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for what you are doing. As a francophone, as a francophone, learning English was good. Going to Accra was better. Being there for long was the best. And discovering farm life has been a blessing to me. Listening from Guinea Conakry, but started when I was in Accra in 2020. Wow. Thank you very much for your encouragement. You didn't put your name for us to appreciate you, but thank you. It is all part of the reason why we do what we do, because then we know that it's influencing all of us to be better. Okay, let's take this one and then we'll come to the studio and continue. Okay, this is all my precious Farm Life Squad. Miss Jessina has said it all, oh, and that's exactly what I'm doing through. That's exactly what I'm going through for the past 10 years. I have 3 children with him after we got married 15 years ago. I don't know what to do again, but this marriage has become toxic and casa after we had some misunderstanding between us. And after sharing with his family, he's stuck to their advice and doesn't want us to sit and address the issue. And it's been almost 2 years now. I'm staying in a different room whilst he is in our bedroom, living like a single man. The children too are my priority, and I don't want to leave them. She has the emojis of someone crying. This man has a stony heart. Please help me. This is Fina from Ashalebotre. Fina, yes. So we'll give a number to for sale, and then we'll give the first person who asks his number to. We'll send you Papa Sale's number, and then we'll send you Lady Justina's number. See what I'm sharing is that right now I'm a bit loaded with quite a number. So these wonderful people support you. Yes, so now let's come back.
So maybe
yes.
a few comments on some of the...
Oh, I feel there's some things commenting. Okay, then please do so, yes.
It's okay. I think the second one.
Right. Third one. So the issue about just agreeing with whatever the partner suggests so that there will be peace, or the partner will not be hurt or offended. I think it's helpful when you learn to discuss. This is like a scenario where probably your partner is very opinionated, and whatever you say may not carry or may not go down well with him or her. You need to come to that point of having the conversation to let your partner understand that we are in this boat together. If I pretend to accept everything you say so that there'll be peace, or there'll be seeming per day that I cannot always absorb it. Yes, that's some kind of shock absorber he's put out there, but it's not the real one. We have fake shock absorbers and we have real ones.
Okay.
Yeah, this one will give up on you along the line. So have a very frank conversation with your partner. Agree. I mean, things like names. If that's the name in my home, I think we were very flexible with names. So everybody brought a name. So and it's not a big deal. We don't have any hard and fast. So have a frank conversation about it. Agree on what will work for you, And anybody in a relationship who has a very hard stance on things is not helping the relationship grow. We talked about negotiation and we talked about compromise. There must always be compromise in a relationship that's going to thrive and go the long haul. So let's address it from that angle. Our sister who talked about the husband having the hard hearts. I'm sure that you guys have just had a misunderstanding, probably a series of them, and there have been offenses. There hasn't been open discussion. I think you mentioned that he carried the matters to his family, and whatever the family said is what he stuck to. You need to get a helper, because I think at this point you've gone so far that you've moved out of your bedroom to another room. get someone to help you. If you can get a professional counselor to help you, that would be helpful, so that you talk issues through and resolve them. I think you're the one who said you've been together for 10 years.
Yeah, it's
So
15.
15.
Yes.
That's a long journey.
Yeah, that's
so
a long one.
don't allow the shock absorbers to all collapse on you, and then you just keep driving a very rickety car when you can actually fix them and get back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. What I'll add, and then I'll let Lady Justina to come in, is that, you know, the study of human behavior, there's a whole school that brings in what we call the personality traits. And that personality traits has to do more with the template. And that is actually different from the personality.
Yeah.
So personalities change easier. Now, those who do the creation model, they actually use the word person type. The reason that they do so is because that one has to do with your template, how you are wired. So if, for instance, the gentleman is a phlegmatic, they value peace at any cost.
All right.
So they would just carry
Trade it
along.
off, yeah.
If the woman is likely to be a choleric, she wants to have her way. So you say,
Right.
okay, not for there to be a fight. So that is why we are saying that it's always very important and helpful for the engagement to be mutual.
Exactly.
Listen to what he has. Somebody may be cool because country broke or no broke or they didn't
They
say.
didn't say,
So they'll never, their feathers are not ruffled.
Yeah.
If that's how the man is, that is fine. But if you would have preferred
to have,
to have also made an input, then don't also, because you are the lady and you want, some people imagine that names before they even got married. Our first child will be called this,
exactly.
second one will be called this. Somebody wants D, the first name starting with D. Somebody wants it all to be local names. There's a need for discussion. It must be a win-win.
Absolutely.
Win-win means that you discuss and come to a fair conclusion.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to name all the children after her family members and
Which
leave
is not fair.
exactly, and leave the other. Some men do it, some women do it, but that is why there's a need to engage. So we are saying have sincere engagement, so that whatever you settle on or arrive at becomes mutually beneficial
Yeah.
to the children who are named whatever they are named, and to you as the couple, so that the outcomes will be good. That's what I want to add. And for the stony hearts, like Papa Sil said, you know, life happens. And people interpretation is another key element of how we respond. So we talk about three things. Cognition, which is how you think and interpret. That then brings it to your emotion, how you feel.
Yeah.
And then from the emotion, it brings it down to action, how you will act. So these three are like a cycle and they're so connected. Sometimes how you feel lead to how you think. And so it's very important that you get a third party, either somebody who's old and you both respect, or a professional. These days, professionals are becoming necessary because sometimes the older people, sometimes they are biased, sometimes, or even sometimes they are not. But one person will feel that even counselors are sometimes accused of being biased, even because they are neutrals. So that's why often it's good to get a third party who is a neutral, probably a counselor, a professional, so that then they can help you, because if you work through the issues, you can deal with them. Then the next thing is that if you're married for 15 years, doesn't mean that when they talk, often people make that mistake and say, oh, we've spoken about it. You see, meanings are in people. So the fact that you've spoken about it does not mean that then straight away the person jumps into full gear and then there's nothing. And sometimes people say, oh, go and have sex and restore it. It's not everything that sex can cure or heal, because people are different and meanings are in them. So sometimes not one session will not be enough. Sometimes you have to do 5 or 6. Now you have to allow time, because somebody is so fixated that the thing hurts them so badly and they are holding on to it. You are the easy to let go. You are the one who can offer prepaid forgiveness if it's necessary. But somebody is like the electric stove. Even though you've turned the burner off, they still haven't cooled down. Exactly.
Slowly.
You are maybe
Give the person time
exactly.
to cool.
You are like the gas stove. So boom, boom, then you are done.
Yeah.
So all these things show how complex human behavior is, and how human beings are. And once you get the right help from Papa Sil or Lady Justina, you'll be good to go. That's what we will say. Justina, you want to say something before then we can go on?
What I want to
Yes.
add is that, you see, life is intertwined. So whatever, however character you have built at work, let it reflect at home,
Okay.
at church. So don't be different persons at these different areas.
Okay.
Because I'm saying this because the stone-hearted man, assuming it is the boss who has offended him, he wouldn't stop working.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He wouldn't insult the boss. He wouldn't disrespect the boss in any way because there's something that he's looking for. Does that mean in your spouse there's nothing you are getting? So all these things must be applied. I always say that life is like leadership skills. There's nothing like I am autocratic.
Okay.
You should know all because each circumstance and what
Demands
apply
something
best.
Different one.
Yeah.
So there are situations that you need to be democratic.
Yeah.
You should be able to. There are situations you should be laissez-faire. You should be able to. There are situations you should be autocratic. You can't choose. You don't have that option. And in marriage, these are very helpful.
Yeah.
So you don't go into marriage as a boss, but as a leader.
Yeah.
Leaders are flexible, are learning alongside the people they lead, and that is how marriage should be. So when it gets to, assuming you are at the bus stop, somebody step, or you're going somewhere with your best cloth, somebody, this happened to me some time back, and where I've gotten to, getting back means I'm losing the program.
Okay. Someone splashed water
Yes,
on you.
the person just, and then
So fast and water splashed on you.
so what can I do? Some materials to you wash and you
Yes.
clean that part and it shows.
Yeah.
But that was the only option.
Right.
I was able to go.
Right.
For all you know, people did not even
Even
see.
notice that your
And we are
dress was
mostly
clean.
looking at what others will say.
Yeah.
That is why I said that look for what work for you. Yes, the person informed your family you are not happy. Did you even tell the person that when issues happen, please don't go to my family? All these things are open communication that we should have in there before we get into the relationship. How we resolve problems.
Okay.
And then we should always have alternative solution. So one problem, when we are arguing and I'm angry, we use A, we use B, we use C, so that if A doesn't work, it doesn't mean the line is done.
Okay.
There
Do
should
you
be
think the
alternative.
hunger strike example is a good approach
If it
to
is not
fixing it?
extended, because it's just like taking DDT and looking for whether your mother will die. Taking the poison and expecting a
Somebody
different
else to
person
suffer the
because
consequences.
you will not eat. For how long would you be able to eat from outside if that is the alternative? Because some people will eat, they come back home, clean their mouth like nothing has happened.
Yeah.
If indeed you are doing hunger strike, how long are you going to do that?
Right.
So the moment the person's attention come to what you've done,
Yes.
oh, for 2 days you haven't been eating, you take advantage of the circumstance and discuss the issues.
But
At
if-
least the person has observed the changes, addressed
if
the
yes,
issues.
if that is the motive, sometimes I tell people that let your motive influence your method and then choose the right moment. So if the hunger strike in quote is meant to create awareness so a person will come asking, then make sure that you don't drag it, because you see, if you drag it, the person gets to a point where it's okay, yeah,
Do whatever
don't
you
do it, yes.
want, yeah.
Then you've lost on both ends.
Yeah.
So let your motive manage your method, which is now your in quote hunger strike, and then make sure that you don't miss the right moment so you can get the best
And then
outcomes.
in resolving relational problems,
Yes.
we should look at the time, the degree. So sometimes the degree of the how we emphasize on the issue also doesn't help. The timing to do the discussion or try to resolve the problem matters. And then we should adapt positive reinforcement
Yeah.
than to confrontational and accusations. And I always say that use the I statement. You see, the I statement break stiff nerves because it doesn't mean you are wrong. I am feeling that way. So I don't like this type of water. It doesn't mean you have given me the wrong thing. I don't like it. So then
So,
you,
so help us. So instead of saying, you keep giving me this water,
you should say, I don't like this
And
water,
then what
and
else-
give.
And what else can you add to make it more amiable? Can
Okay.
you say, please, I don't like this kind of water.
Yes,
Or
please,
say,
I would prefer
you don't
this
give me
one.
the water I want. So what is the difference in these two
You see
statements?
that the first statement, you don't
Yes.
give me water, is accusational.
Okay.
And per our human nature,
Yes.
the receiver will build a walls or shield
Okay.
ready to fight.
Okay.
But if you go like, oh, this water is nice, but I don't feel comfortable with it, I would prefer, then you give what you prefer.
Okay.
So it's not like this is wrong,
Okay.
but I don't and prefer the other one. You've made it clear. And one thing you should also know that my godfather says that it's not easy changing or raising a grown up. Just like you can't train a grown dog. It should be trained when it's a puppy. So you won't say it once and you get results. That is why positive reinforcement comes
But you
in.
know that thing they say is not true.
That
That you can't train an
it
old
takes
dog.
time.
But it takes longer time.
It takes time.
Why I'm saying
And it
that-
depends on the kind of dog
and
you're
okay,
talking
but
about.
Why I'm saying that is not true is that we have a grown dog and we've taught him to do something else that he's doing we didn't used to do, and he's adapted
it.
fine.
Yeah.
You know, all these things are mindsets.
Sense,
That
yeah.
mindset.
But that is
yeah.
why we keep saying that it takes time. After taking time, it takes time.
Takes time.
And that is why we're trying to differentiate between the template the person is born with, which is a person type, and then the personality. Because the personality has to do more with the persona, what they choose to put out with. Somebody can be can choose to be very introverted just to fit in
Right.
or to get things done because that is what it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Then- But then when you focus first on yourself and then you create the necessary support to help the other to be better. And that's why we keep saying that there's some people, when they discuss a matter once, for them, once is enough.
It's enough, yeah.
But there are some people who need to hear it like 10 times before it sticks. So that is not only and always be from your perspective only. Let it also be from the other person. So the person says, the repetition helps me. Let the repetition happen. Though for you, once is enough. And the same thing goes even for the children.
Yeah.
Because there's a child that when you scold them, that scolding has a certain effect on them, or it's enough. There are some, I'm told of a story where a young child, he would break the bowls, and when he breaks the glass bowls, the mommy will spank him. So now when he's cleaning the dishes, he breaks the glass, then you go and take the kid.
And-
they bring the guy-
His red punishment, right?
You know, so such a guy is likely to be strong-willed,
Yeah.
likely to be able to adapt easily.
Yeah.
So if you don't learn to treat all your children
Uniquely.
differently, uniquely, so I always tell parents that treat them fairly and not
Yeah.
equally.
Equally.
Because equality is a lower level, fairness is a higher level.
Right.
Somebody may need a little scold or rebuke. Somebody else may need a spank or what we call what thing? There's a word for it.
A pat,
No, this
tap.
I think it's an S word. It's not spank. It's
Okay.
okay.
When-
What
when
about
you
like
find
give me a
it.
few strokes on the finger? There's a word for it with your thumb. I asked, you think? I mean, we raised 4 boys by God's grace. You know what it means to raise 4 boys? Yes, so, but you know, one of the things that amazed me is and model it. The modeling
Yeah.
is so crucial now. Modeling, because parents are not available, they're not modeling. They call you and they say hello daddy or hello mommy and you listen. The next thing is please can I when I as a father I'm talking to them, please
You also
come.
say please, yeah.
Can you get me? That's why I ask the word. You see, we call those conciliatory cliches. If you always talk, the fact that you are the daddy does not mean that you cannot show respect.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's how. Or you are going to your
Exactly.
child's room, you don't knock.
Knock.
Because what? You are older. So then they will knock because you've asked them to knock. But then they will not learn it for others.
Yes,
So if
and
you
that
want
would
it to go beyond, model it. You
absolutely,
get me? And that will be
absolutely.
helpful.
And that is where values comes in. So as for this family, these are our values. This is how we do things. And we set our boundaries. Okay. And don't try to use avoidance is okay at certain level. at certain times, but not the best throughout. So yes, initially you can avoid. In parenting, get to know that it gets to a time children just want your attention. That's why the boy will break and bring the cane.
Yes.
They are not breaking because they can't hold it well. For all you know, you haven't even schooled them how to hold breakables. So you, the parent, have to do that. And then when they want your attention, they will do what you ask them not to do, because they know when they do it, they'll get you. This is where flexibility and compromises comes in. So the timing, the degree must vary, so that I have seen it, but today my lips are zipped. Then the child asks, why is it that mommy is not doing the usual? You see, give them a reason to think. And then the open communication is not just with your partner, including the children. Now, children are not like the 19th century. The Gen Zs think differently. Involve them. Let them know that their opinions count, and they should be responsible for whatever decision and the choices. So you ask them A, B, C, D. Oh, Daddy, why don't you? Recently, some girls were telling their Daddy, but it's just soup. The father was complaining how they use liquid soup, and they were telling the dad, but this one is just soup. Daddy, but this one is just soup. So for them, they think it's just soup. So when they get finished, even 2 days, it's okay.
Yeah.
So there are times you have to tell them to learn how to measure.
Yeah.
And then keep it for a certain period. I always tell people that I use shower gel not because of fragrance, not because of whatever, but I look at the size. Can I use within a month?
It will take
If
you
a month, at least a
whole.
month. If you can't, I'll buy it, regardless of.
Yeah.
You see,
So
these
there are
are
things you teach the
teach
children.
the children how to value certain things. It's part of the values.
Yeah.
So we use this for this period. We do that within this. There are times you have to live in.
Right.
We off the fan. And if there's another person, can I on the fan? Can I on? Please, can I do this? You ask permission, not because you are nobody, but
Just respecting the other persons.
But if you, the parent, off the lights because you think the lights,
you're the one paying the bills, right?
They
I mean,
learn.
you just have to communicate, because a lot of times I tell the children, well, we've got to conserve energy, and there are things you teach them. Conserve energy, know how to manage water. Don't just leave the tap flowing, running without any. When we were kids, one of the things we used to mess around with a lot was the toilet roll. You just go and pull it and make a long rope,
and you are playing
and you are having fun. You've never thought of the fact that this is something that was bought with money, and kids still do it. So you teach the children all of these things. Don't assume they should know, and a lot of times that's what we parents do. Go like, oh, you should have known this. And instead of first instructing or guiding them, you start with beating or some harsh punishment. Let's go from the communication level, gentle, nice communication, and then correction, repeated correction before you get to punishment.
No, you shouldn't even use, but you should use positive reinforcement. Positive reinforcement, I'm talking about recognize the good things they've done.
Right.
And then tell them how you feel when you see them do it the way they do it. It's enough to push them to do more, because every child wants to make the parent happy, except you make them unhappy.
Yeah. Some children want to make their parents angry.
Then it means you have made them unhappy.
No, you see that's I hold a different opinion. And this, there's something called unintended outcomes. There are some children whose wiring is different. So that is where the parental care matters. You as a parent should offer some things that are basic. Exactly. One of them is unconditional love. Because some children, they are strong-willed. They are pushing the boundaries. So that a person is not because you're not doing it, and that is why if you are not careful as a parent, you have one of them in the scheme of things. You may start comparing them to others, and letting them. Then they'll get worse. So the first thing you must do as a parent is let your love be unconditional. Secondly, don't compare. Thirdly, don't treat them equally. Treat each of them fairly. Then fourthly, pay attention. Faith one, date your children. If I say date your children, I mean that. Let's
have dedicated time.
Each one. Then you can get to see how they reason and understand their nuances. Because look,
Right.
what you think they are saying, somebody, a senior man I know that I have so much great respect for, you know, they have 2 children, and then for the older they bought a car for him on his birthday, and then they sent both of them to school abroad. But second one schooling was far more huge, so they are a little constrained in funds. Can you imagine that? Then later on they came by some money to selling some property. Can you imagine that when they bought, and then so decided that, oh, okay, let's get this second son to a vehicle, and they bought. You know, when they bought, you know what the son said? I realize that you don't love A more than me. And they were all shocked. But your fees was like 3 times the car. I say meanings are in people.
People, right.
So if you as a parent don't do that, what happens is that your basis is already wrong, because you are coming from your perspective. Date your children. If you have 4, make time to engage them. Ask them, what are we doing right as a family?
Yeah.
What are we not doing right? What do you like? What do you not like? And you see, I always say there is level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5 answers.
Yeah.
If they think that you can take their honest feedback, they will give it to you.
Yeah.
If they don't give you honest
exactly.
feedback, then it means that you have created it.
Right.
Because you've created an environment where they can't
They
trust
cannot-
that you won't get angry.
Yeah.
So when they do something wrong and they come and tell you how you've been responding over time, is how they've concluded.
And sometimes they start, Daddy, don't get angry.
Yeah.
Daddy, I'm coming to tell you something. Don't get angry. It should tell you something. And then when you are coming home and they are trying to hide,
Yeah.
or they are sleeping,
Yeah.
so you always come home and they are sleeping.
Yeah.
It should tell you you
Yeah.
are doing something.
Yeah.
And
You have to get it right.
exactly.
Yeah.
And back to open communication.
Yeah, that's
And then deal with your children based on their strength. Talking about treating them fairly.
Yeah.
Correct them, train them according to their strength and their weakness. Each is unique.
Yeah.
So don't assume I gave birth to you, so you should be. It will never happen.
Exactly.
But when you understand these things, and then open communication, I've had a family where the eldest thought mother likes the youngest than, because
Exactly.
everything she asks you do. Then I asked them, go and tell her it's because of her weakness. That's why you do things this way. And she understood. There was a situation, said, oh, give it to her. The eldest who was complaining rather said that, why don't we handle the youngest? Because now she understood that it is not like that, but it's because of a need.
Yeah.
And we don't do these communications as parents.
Awesome. So if you are hearing us, we are in this together. Let's keep working and being better.
Yep.
Good morning, sir. I'm Kelly. It's Kelly or Kelly?
Kelly.
I'm Kelly. Please, how can I get this program's audio to listen to again? Okay, Kelly, what we have done is that we have created a video version of the audio. Hopefully, with time, we'll create an audio version as well. So go to Farm Life, go to YouTube, and then type in Farm Life, one word, FAMLIFE. Farm Life with MM. The MM are 2 letters, M and M. So Farm Life with MM on YouTube, and then you get this. We'll load it hopefully today or latest by tomorrow, so you get a chance. And there are others of previous sessions that we've had in the not too distant past that are also on. So if you go to Farm on YouTube, go to YouTube, and you type Farm Life with MM, you will get to listen to the whole session again. So that is what you can do. You can also subscribe, so that when anytime we load, you can get to
An
the
alert.
and then you can share with others as well, because it helps to listen and it helps you to be a better version. Now, interest. Okay, someone else says.
So this is Vivian from Obichere,
So please
or
subscribe.
Vivian Obichere Bansa from Mayra, I think. She says, interest of others, make time for other people, and then compromise with others. I think she's making some 3 points that she's picked up from the conversation. Thank you very much, Vivian. Kweku says, I have been married for over 10 years. My problem is I am unable to plan with my wife. Everything we should leave it to God. I would rather like for us to meet an expert. So the Kweku is requesting to meet someone to engage them.
Wait, so we'll give you, for you, I'll take your.
Okay, so Michael
will give
will.
you my number so you call, so we can support you.
Right. Good morning, Farm Life. Thank you for discussing this all important topic. The concept of advanced forgiveness, particularly, resonates with me. It serves as a perfect emotional shock absorber for relationships, especially with those closest to us who are most likely to unintentionally cause hurt. I recently put this into practice. After a friend apologized for an offense, I told her I had forgiven her and had, in fact, already forgiven her for any future mistakes. We shared a laugh, but I was completely sincere. The results were profound. The next time I was the one who offended her, so she simply smiled and said, "You are forgiven." I was stunned, as her instinct would have been to dwell on the issue. This experience created a beautiful cycle of grace. Not only was the conflict dissolved instantly, but it also made me more mindful and careful in my interactions with her. Advanced forgiveness didn't give us a license to be careless. Instead, it's fostered a more conscious and respectful relationship. It's a powerful concept that truly works. This is Matthew from Nkoko. Thank you very much, Matthew. This is a beautiful example
Yeah.
of how you put this into practice.
Yes.
Thank you.
We are grateful very much, Matthew. Well, before we read the next batch, Papa Sil, how do we manage mental and emotional resilience? Is this what must we do to be able to dampen negative impacts?
So last week we spoke a little bit about training yourself in to do certain things.
Okay.
Some things come naturally, but when it comes to building resilience, resilience is like bodybuilding,
Okay.
right? You go to the gym, you work out, you do it consistently. You need some level of physical fitness. You exercise consistently to build it. So, to develop mental resilience, you need to work yourself at it, read about it, talk to people that will give you good counsel. Let's let's get guidance wherever necessary, but I think that a lot of reading and getting relevant material helps you a lot, so that at the end of the day you don't become fickle. A lot of times we struggle with some of the issues, and Michael always says that life happens. Some issues of life are really tough, and it's not easy to suddenly become resilient when you go through them. But um, you learn from experience, you work your way through them, so that at the end of the day, you are strengthened over time. I would also say that getting the needed support from experts or people that have gone through similar experiences has a way of encouraging you. If you're going through a very difficult situation and you meet someone who's gone through something similar or something worse, it always has a way of kind of giving you a lot of courage and a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Actually, this week I had one of those encounters. I was sharing some personal experiences with this guy who was struggling with issues related to work, and I was telling him similar challenges I had gone through, so that he could appreciate the fact that these challenges help you. These experiences once shared help you become appreciate the fact that others have gone through,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can pick from their experiences and build upon your situation as well.
Okay.
So those would be some of the tips I can give when it comes to building mental resilience.
Okay.
I'm sure that
Awesome.
my
Yes,
good
yeah.
sister would be able to
Add
add
a
from
bit,
a
yes.
psychologist
So
perspective.
let's
as
read a
well.
few, because we have quite a number of messages. Let's read a few, then you add it in. So please take
Okay.
note with the answer. How the time tries to run against us. It says, please, off, which is FOF.
OFF.
Please, off, which is OFF, is not a verb, so you can't say they off the light. The light is turned off. Okay, thank you
Okay.
for
Thank you
bringing
very
the.
much for the
We appreciate
correction.
that. There's something else under. We need to correct this. Okay, which is common among Ghanaians. Okay, we are very grateful. Okay,
Right.
please, this is Fina again. The issue involved the two of us. He said something bad about me to his friend in a different language, and I got him recorded, and I got it explained to me. It was very offensive, but I ignored. And when he seized a phone he gave me, he got to know that all that he said about me, I have heard them. But he didn't tell his people the truth, but he was dwelling on what I said in the audio and others. And others are advising him to divorce me, whilst others are advising him to resolve it. And that's why he used me to and that's why he asked me to go sleep in the other room. He asked me to go sleep in the other room.
Okay, so that's some
I don't know if
clarification here.
what I did was wrong, but before this issue, there wasn't any communication between us. He takes every decision and executes it before I will get to know. He doesn't give me rest. There, there are so many things he's jotting down about me, and I always chance upon it whenever he miraculously leaves to work, forgetting to lock his door. He is planning to travel abroad and go give our children to his sister. He's also planning to take me out from his need benefits and so on and so forth. I am broken, Impo. Fina, you really need help. But both of you do.
Yeah.
Good morning, Farm Life. Thank you for making time to teach us every week to become better versions of ourselves. The Lord grant you grace and strength always. Big ups to you all. Thanks from Sweet Agility of Afia Matayako. Hey, Sweet Agility is also always good to hear from you. Yes, so
Thank
please
you,
respond quickly,
Sweet
and then
Ajili.
just then you add what you're going to talk about, the mental resilience and stuff. So there's something to respond to, not so. So Fina has come back.
Yeah,
So
Fina has
do we
provided
say we
some
give Fina to you
clarity.
or you?
Or any of us.
Okay.
Or can even be
No, because when she said we mentioned that we're giving one. She was the one who talked about the hard heart too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it you? And I'm not sure we said we'll give to who.
Oh, whichever.
Okay.
I can help it.
Okay, so please you take the sentence number and give to Fina. Yes. So is there any point to respond to, or there's none that needs response?
I think so far it's Fina.
There's none that
Yeah,
needs.
finesse needs a more fine
Okay. All right. Yes. So yes, on the mental health and
mental
building
resilience.
resilience. Yes. What do you do? Yeah, I say mental health, mental resilience. Yes.
Mental resilience starts with being emotionally intelligent,
Okay.
culturally intelligent, and then socially intelligent, and then health intelligence.
Okay.
So it starts with self-awareness. It starts being aware that whatever choice you make today comes with a responsibility and consequence, and get ready for it. I always say that always try to get help,
Okay.
because there's always help.
Okay.
You try one, it does not work. Don't relax.
Okay.
Get help and open up. Whatever the situation is, we have different communication styles, and I always say that communication, however way it comes, for me it's okay, because
Okay.
it's better than none. Even if it comes aggressive,
Okay.
it's better than none.
Okay.
And then always get ready to work on yourself.
Okay.
Work on yourself.
Okay.
Work on your personal expectations
Okay.
before you go into others.
Okay.
And then try and not to expect too much from others. Expect too much from yourself, but not others. It is the beginning. Know that marriage is not a one-side fit. Each marriage has a relationship, a issue. Every relationship, corporate, interpersonal, personal, family, they all come with their issues. The only way we can resolve them is to apply open communication and be ready for alternative resolution. So you don't stick with one solution or one way of resolving problem. The other time we sat and everybody, as they would say, spoke their mind. It wouldn't work for every situation. There are some situations one person speaks and we should move on. Apply the time, the degree the right time, the right degree to every resolution,
Okay.
every problem you are solving
Okay.
in your relationship. Even if you're going to communicate positively, it should be the right time.
Okay.
And learn.
Okay.
Life in itself is a learning platform. So marriages and relationship are and will be. So don't get stuck. Always learn. Remember, stones are growing, trees are moving. So you
did I
can't.
hear that?
Yes.
Did you say stones are
Stones are growing.
What does that mean?
So we have types of stones.
Uh-huh.
If you go to the hilly part, you get to know that some years back it wasn't of that size, it wasn't of that length.
Okay.
Human encroachment comes to play, but especially when you take sedimentary rocks, you easily see its growth.
Okay, right. No, so that brings
Trees
some
are
clarity to
moving
it.
because trees start from somewhere, usually with one leaf. Then you see it expanding. Now it provides shade.
Okay, so it's another way of saying they're also growing, but you describe them as
moving on.
Right,
because
they're progressing.
we trim them, they don't stay.
Okay,
They
got you.
once you want to reduce the stem, they sprout at another angle.
Let me take this message.
Such is life.
You see, thank you for the
Interesting
meaningful
stuff.
call. Yes. Good morning from life. Please, can I get the number of Lady Justina? I am a 34-year-old lady and a mother of 2, battling with a lot of issues and trauma, which is currently affecting every relationship and my productivity at work. I really need the help of a counselor.
Right.
Thank you. This is Jipa from
This Adiza.
Hey, Adiza. Hey. Oh, God have mercy.
That's okay.
How can I see Adiza and I'm within Jipa?
All right,
So that's Adiza from
Dansoma.
yeah. So Adiza will give you Lady Justina's number so we can be of help to. She can be of help to. Yes, we're there for you like some MNO will say. We want to thank you so much, Mr. Sylvester Segbaya, Lady Justina Owejiri. We've been able produced by Kwate, which we've received technical support from Kwate, and our producers have been Philip Nilati and Daniel Squashy.